Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 anime fights where the hero takes 0 damage. For this list, we'll be looking at the anime bouts where the protagonist dominated their foe without suffering a single scratch. What overpowered ordeals do you think should have made the cut? Let us know in the comments. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 20, Rizel vs Jake, Noblesse Awakening. We all know that vampires love to make a mess with their food and create as much of a bloodbath as possible. Just ask Alucard. Ray, on the other hand, prefers to keep his whites free of stains, so simply settles for mentally crushing his prey until they're consumed in a maelstrom of their own blood. After his new high school allies are attacked by the enforcers of the Union, Ray arrives on the scene and proceeds to let everyone know who the OG Nightwalker really is, proving that he doesn't have to touch someone in order to rip them apart. Number 19, Misaka vs Seike, a certain scientific railgun, T. Getting owned by level 5 espers is practically Seike's day job at this point, and nowhere was it more brutal than when they ended up earning the electrified wrath of the railgun. After saving an innocent student from being trounced by this member of Scavenger, Misaka quickly lays down the law. Not only by turning their own magnetic power against them, but also following it up with a pillar of electrokinesis that scorches Seike until their lights go out. Academy City is a weird-ass place to live. Number 18, Natsu vs Blue Note, Fairy Tail. The first encounter with this dark wizard ended rather poorly for the members of Fairy Tail, with them being saved at the last second only due to the intervention of Gildarts. This time was a tad different. With 2 years of training under his belt, Natsu not only was able to brush off Blue Note's gravity magic like it was nothing, but also incinerate him in a single breath. While it truly highlighted just how strong the salamander had become, it also made us realize just how crappy a villain Blue Note was. Number 17, Koro-sensei vs Irina, Assassination Classroom. Seduction can work wonders on the right target, and as we know, Irina certainly has got it going on. Sure, she wasn't able to win over anyone in Class E, but a yellow monster with tentacles for days, that's a different story. While her assassination attempts appear to have no flaws whatsoever, Bitch Sensei severely underestimates Koro Sensei's capabilities. With regular bullets proving useless, her death trap ultimately fails, leading the smiling monster to dish out some rather, well, unconventional punishment in retaliation. Hey, get your minds out the gutter. Number 16, Vegeta vs Pui Pui, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, does anybody even remember this guy?
What's wrong? Had enough? No!
A servant of Babidi, this alien wannabe found himself in the unfortunate position of acting as Vegeta's opponent, confident that his speed would be enough to easily axe off the Prince of Saiyans. The truth of the matter was, this guy was so easy to take out, he might as well have been named Yamcha from a parallel universe. not a single one of his blows manages to land, all culminating in Vegeta giving him a full frontal ki blast that reduced the forgettable henchman to dust. Number 15, Anos Voldigode vs. Kroot Ludowell, the Misfit of Demon Academy. Look, we knew Anos was going to win. The only question here was just how badly he was going to humiliate his opponent in the process. Oh sure, he didn't defeat him with his heartbeat alone like he did the other guy on his induction day, but the founding demon still managed to make a sting. Taking on the brother of the prejudiced teacher he had spent the semester dunking on, Anos didn't only win the fight without taking a single strike from his opponent's sword, but did so in a single minute, just like he declared he would. Flex. Number 14, Maple vs. Players. Bofery. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Oh ha! Whoever said it was a waste of time pouring all your stats into a shield clearly didn't know what they were missing out on. With an abject fear of getting hurt, the adorable Maple continually builds her defense, to the point where it becomes impossible for her to be damaged. Those starring in this PvP event learned this the hard way when they tried to overpower her, all before getting deleted with a light tap of her shield. Oh, and her terrifying Hydra summon. She's still cute as a button though. Number 13, Baki vs. Alai Jr. Baki. Taking out an opponent so easily is always going to be embarrassing for the losing side, but the son of the legendary boxer set himself up for maximum humiliation. Not only was Junior talking mad shit from the get-go about how he was going to best Baki, but had spent the previous few episodes trying to get Kozue interested into some sparring between the sheets. So how did he fare in the title bout? Got choked out within seconds of the gong. That's what you get for simping. Number 12, Accelerator vs. Scavenger. A certain magical accelerator. And Seike loses out again. Though at least this time, the whole squad goes down with him. While taking on the role of an anti-hero in this iteration, that doesn't stop Accelerator from going on the occasional psychic rampage when the moment calls for it. Facing the full might of Scavenger, the ultimate esper tears apart the whole crew without even flinching. While he doesn't outright kill the lethal ladies, he certainly leaves them worse for wear, both their bodies and psyches in pieces by the end of their little tussle. Number 11, Hiei vs. Pui, Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, we're gonna be a little bit cheeky here. While the two start off evenly as their match in the Dark Tournament gets underway, we're only counting this from the moment that Hiei successfully absorbs the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. We don't care, it looks epic. Now a far stronger demon, Hiei is able to take blow after blow of Bui's fists without it doing any harm whatsoever, at least until he gets bored and decides to end things with a shockwave that leads to one hell of a ring out. Number 10, Diablo vs. Edelgard. How not to summon a Demon Lord? Well, that's one way to flaunt your status as the de facto demon on the block, and possibly earn a future harem member in the process. Despite her formidable skills and the hellish hordes at her back, Edelgard found herself woefully unprepared for Diablo and his level 150 swag. Impervious to her strikes, the OG Demon Lord responded in kind with a single spell that not only sent Edelgard and her wardrobe packing, but also wiped out an entire bridge and a good chunk of her forces. Number 9, Meliodas vs Derieri and Monspeet, the 7 Deadly Sins. Following on from his quick jaunt through Purgatory, Meliodas manages to save his beloved Elizabeth at the last second, all before decimating the combined might of 2 of the 10 Commandments like they were nothing. Thanks to his new ruthless change in personality, it doesn't take the Dragon Sin of Wrath long to beat the blessing out of Derieri, all before using his full counter to reflect Monspeet's power back at them, turning the 2 demons to ash.
Now, full counter!
Back to life for just over a minute, and Meliodas is already sinning.
Elizabeth? I'm sorry I kept you waiting.
Number 8, Ryuko vs Takaharu. Kill la kill. This boxer should thank his lucky stars he got to fight Ryuko when she was still embarrassed about wearing senkets. Otherwise, he might have ended up losing more than just his clothes.
What the hell? My gloves!
Looks like your glove's not the only thing that turns to steel.
In spite of the fact her talking uniform is a tad on the revealing side, the immense power of the Kamui was more than enough to stop Fukuroda's punches from causing any damage whatsoever, paving the way for Ryuko to bust out the scissor blade and send him packing.
Impossible, 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 impossible!
Jeez, you call those punches? 'Cause I'm not feeling anything!
Probably not quite the knockout he was hoping for.
Right straight!
Number 7, Mirio vs Class 1A, My Hero Academia. There's no denying that this group of wannabe superheroes are talented, to the point they've made the League of Villains eat dirt on multiple occasions. However, as this smackdown proved, they certainly have a long way to go. Even with the combined talents of Deku, Todoroki, Ida, and the rest, they're all woefully unprepared for the unbridled power of this third-year student.
An ultimate move! Blinder touch eyeball crush!
Mirio may look a tad on the dorky side and somehow always end up naked, but that doesn't take away from the fact he took down each member of Class 1A with a single strike. They probably should have brought Bakugo along.
Power!
Number 6, Rimuru vs Ifrit. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. This summon may be feared across the land as a conqueror of flames, but that doesn't amount to much when you're fireproof. Kind of hilarious that after emerging from Shizu embroiled in hellfire, looking like a nigh unstoppable devil, the Horned Firestarter can't even singe one slime. Thanks to his predator ability, Rimuru was easily able to put an end to the raging beast that had plagued his one true waifu, allowing him to end the scorching scuffle without ever having to worry about getting burnt. I mean, it certainly made digesting Ifrit all the easier. Number 5, Zoro vs Hyozo, One Piece. We all know the vice captain of the Straw Hats can take way more punishment than the average mortal, so while we weren't worried about him losing his life, many of us were still convinced he would at least get scratched when going up against a drugged up octopus with a blade in each tentacle.
魚人島で一番強い剣士を連れてこい。
Nope. After 2 years of training, Zoro's skills had excelled so much that cutting apart the fishman's weapons was almost second nature. Hyozu really should have called it quits there instead of trying to launch a sneak attack with a bunch of half-broken poison-covered swords.
煉獄鬼切
That would have saved him from getting turned into takoyaki.
悪かったな。カエルかと思ったよ。胃の中のよ。
Number 4, Reagan vs. Claw. Mob Psycho 100. We still can't get over the fact that the one to bring this division of a psychic criminal organization to its knees was Reagan.
あれやけに軽いな。ぬいぐるみ
Reagan, the con man with an ironic talent for giving out great life advice. After being imbued with Mob's Esper abilities, Reagan manages to make short work of Claw's elite forces.
いい年していつまでも遊んでんじゃねえよ。
Not only breaking apart their powers like they were nothing, but also breaking their spirits by giving them a harsh dose of reality. Not sure what's more devastating, getting wrecked by a fake psychic, or having your perspective shaken so much you give up being a baddie.
俺は庶民だ。お前らより圧倒的に強い俺が庶民で。出た。お前らは何だって？
Number 3, Einzel Gon vs. Clementine. Overlord. Look at it this way, Clementine. You might have ended up getting slowly crushed to death by a skeletal ruler with a grudge, but look at the bright side. You're the only one who managed to make the ruler of Nazarick use his own bony hands to kill someone, as opposed to relying on magic.
なんでとか言ってないで本気でやらないと死んじゃうんじゃないかな。
After butchering his human companions, the sadistic mercenary looked to put an end to the dark warrior named Momonga, only to discover there was more to him than meets the eye.
なんで死なない。
答え合わせといこうか。
なんでとエルダーリチか。
Caught in his deathly embrace, even slamming blades into his eye sockets proved fruitless as the life is literally squeezed out of her.
死の舞踊か。
Number 2, Kirito vs. Titan's Hand Guild, Sword Art Online. Even before he was glitching death, killing fairy kings, and busting his way through final bosses, Kirito still had his own fair share of OP moments. While escorting a fellow player on the journey to revive a beast companion of his, the two were ambushed by guild members looking for trouble.
Anyway, it's time you started worrying about yourselves.
Unfortunately for Rosalia, she and her crew ended up targeting the one guy that can't be taken down. Thanks to a handy health regenerating item, Kirito was able to just stand back and let the rest of them hack away as they please, which only resulted in them looking like idiots as they desperately tried to take down an immortal piñata.
I'm a solo player, got it. I don't care if I have to play as Orange for a couple of days.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Saitama vs. Suiryu, One Punch Man. Leave it to Saitama to take the tried and true method of a tournament arc and turn it on its head. Despite his immensely cocky attitude, Suiryu proved himself to be a martial arts prodigy whose immense skills would excel in any other series. Alas, he's forced to share a stage with the world's strongest man, who not only takes no damage from one of his 4 frontal assaults, but manages to win the match by just shaking his hips around. Turns out that when the One Punch Man makes a mockery of martial arts, it's still enough to send a master flying into a wall. Yikes.
帯が。ああ、もうかっこつかねえな。
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.